You can come say hi though. Okay. Hi everybody. It's me. It's Mama Clark coming to you live from Greensboro slash High Point, North Carolina. I'm out here for Fred Cox. Y'all see my t-shirt? Say his name. Fred Cox. I'm out here because Fred was killed by the police out here. Matter of fact, his mother's in my book because she was one of the mothers that answered the call. Um, Let me find the Fred Cox story and we're going to share it because he would be 21 on the 13th. So shout out to Fred Cox. He was born July 13th, 2002, and he was killed November 8th, 2020. So we just want to give a special shout out to Fred Cox's mother, Tanika Shannon, who is hosting his 21st birthday party and sneaker ball. Woo, woo, out here in High Point, North Carolina. I'm here. I'm in the building. I got my bro with me. We finna turn up Cali style for Fred Cox 21st birthday. Let's go. So, a little bit about today. So, as part of his mother has a foundation called Fred Cox Life Matters, and as a part of the convention, the conference, that sneaker ball, she had took us all to the Civil Rights Museum here in Greensboro, and I became so emotional, so overwhelmed because the lady, the historian who gave us our tour, um, she was very passionate because she lived through the Jim Crow laws and the civil rights movement. And we were in the actual Woolworth store. They took that Woolworth store in Greensboro where you see the kids, the four college boys did the first sit in at the lunch counter. We were actually in that building at that original lunch counter. Okay. It don't take the world to make change. You know what I'm saying? And I can attest to that by my son Stevante. It was him who jumped up on that mayor's desk and was like, "This is not cool." It just takes a handful. It can be one person to start a significant change in this world because they didn't think that they were going to stop the Jim Crow law. I'm sure they just were fed up and tired of the injustices that they were suffering, and they decided to make a stand about it. And just being in that building, being at that counter, um, it was overwhelming. It made me proud, but at the same time, it made me sad. There was a picture of Emmett Till in there and his mother, and then it was a picture of how the historian. She told us the whole story. She told me stuff about the Emmett Till story that I didn't know, like Emmett and his mother were going to go out west on a trip, right? But he wanted to go to where did he get killed? Where did Emmett Till get killed at? I'm sorry, I forgot the city, but he wanted to go where his family and his cousins was going because they were going to be allowed to go to the civil rights movement without their parents. So he begged his mother and begged his mother and begged his mother to go. And she finally gave in and said, okay, right? And then when he got there, he stuttered a lot. So he stuttered a lot, right? So his mother would tell him, when you can't say it, just whistle. Okay. So they said that he whistled at a white woman. She came with her. God forgive me for my face frowning up like that. She came with her husband and I think her father or somebody to Emmett Till's family's house and snatched him and grabbed him up out of the house. And they said that their intent was just to scare him, right? But because he grew up in Chicago and wasn't scared of white people and wasn't bowing down or begging for his life to them, they took him to a second location and killed him. Okay? Because he wouldn't kiss their ass. So, excuse me, I might cuss today because I'm emotional. And that was crazy to me, right? And then after they killed him, they tied something around his neck and threw him in the water to where his body wouldn't be found. And a couple of days later, a little boy was up fishing and seeing Emmett Till's knees popping up out of the water. Okay? So then Emmett Till mama said, "That's my baby." Right? So her brother, his uncle, identified his body by the ring he had on his hand, right? So they was finna bury him out there. She said, no, bring my baby back here to Chicago. Bring me my baby's body, right? So when they bring the body back, they had a big sign on the casket that said, do not open. His mama said, open it. You can't tell me I can't see my baby. Open it, right? Opened it and seen her baby. And then so the funeral home was like, we're going to try to do the best we can to make him look presentable. And she said, leave him like he is. Leave him like he is, because I want the world to see what they did to my child. And so then they showed the picture of how he looked. She said, this is how he left. And then this is how he came back. So shout out. We're going to take a toast to Emmett Till and his mother, Mamie Till. You know what I'm saying? Cheers. Wow. So I just want to share. So I've been emotional because that's deep. And, you know, as a mother in this movement, I never think about how my story may be different from another mother's. I just know that God will show me stuff that allows me to see that I'm not in this by myself, and the stuff that I feel, I'm not alone. And that's what Healing with Mama Clark is really about. It's about creating a safe space for mothers who've experienced the loss of a child, where we can say, this is how I feel. This is what I'm going through, and not have to worry about being judged by it. So today we're working step 4. So I brought books to the mothers in out here that are attending the Fred Cox Life Matters sneaker ball, right? And I gave my book to somebody. So I don't know which of the mothers has my book that I have my answers written down in. So now I'm just going to have to go off the head and not write in the book, y'all. So I'm going to do this fresh with y'all. If any of the mothers want to join in, feel free to join in. I've sent the link out. You just click on that link that I sent you, and it will bring you into the studio. So step 4. So we'll recap steps 1 through 3 really quick. Step 1 was admit powerlessness over the loss and that life has become unmanageable. So step 1, we admitted that we don't have control over how we feel based on the loss that we've experienced. Step 2 was believe that a higher power can restore sanity and provide comfort. So step 2 was about believing in God or something bigger than you, that can restore sense, because only God can make sense of what happened, right? Okay. So step 3 was make a decision to turn to a higher power for support and guidance in grieving. So that was a good step, because I shared with people how I turned to God, how I was mad at God first about my kids dying. And really with Stefan, I was mad about DeMarcus, but I kind of expected it based on DeMarcus's lifestyle. With Stefan, I was angry, like, how can this happen again? And how could you let them kill my baby? Like, he was just trying to get in the house. You know what I mean? So I asked God, you know, how could you let this happen? Why would you let them kill my baby? You know, and his response to me, and I've shared this with other people, and so his response to me was, they killed my baby. And that kind of knocked the wind out of me, you know, because I am here and I believe, and my belief is, you know, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. And so when he told me they killed my baby for no reason, right? Who am I to complain, right? Because I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be saved if God baby didn't get killed. So now I can look at my son's death as it being able to save others. And that's proof, right? Because of the Stefan Clark law, right? 3 police right now are in jail doing time because of my baby. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to step outside of your own personal pain and loss and grief when you're ready. And realize that if you make a decision to trust in a higher power and the fact that he can guide you on this path, then you'll be okay. All will be well with thee. And that's just my personal advice. So step 4 is take a searching and fearless inventory of thoughts and feelings related to the loss. So number 1, The first question is, what emotions do you find most challenging to confront and express regarding the loss of your child? What emotions do you find most challenging to confront and express regarding the loss of your child? I find it most challenging to express how I miss my children. It's hard for me to look at their pictures because I'm reminded of their loss, of my loss of them. I'm reminded that they're really not here. And so you won't hear me speaking about my children as often as I will listen to other mothers speak about theirs. Because I don't want to, that pain is, that pain can take me to a dark space, right? I remember one time, it was the death date of DeMarcus, right? October 18th was when DeMarcus was killed, October 18th, 2006. And I was living in a program, I was clean and sober, right? And so it was October 18th, so I decided to get drunk. And I tapped into that emotion, right? Which was dark. And so I ended up fighting. I ended up taking off on my homegirl Teresa, her boyfriend. I ended up taking off on him. I ended up fighting her neighbor. The police showed up. I ended up sitting on top of a police car with 2 strikes. But by the grace of God, someone walked up and walked me away from the police, just walked straight to me, grabbed me by my hand and walked me to his car and said, I'm taking you home. The police said, where are you taking her? He said, I'm taking her home. But that's what could happen just that quick. I could have been in jail for the rest of my life because I tapped into that dark, raw emotion. So I will, it's very rare that you'll see me tap into the emotion of the actual grief and loss, because it's not good. It's easier for me to give it to God and walk around as if Stefan and DeMarcus are just somewhere else right now. That's how I deal with it. I'm interested to know if anybody wants to put in the comments that's watching how you deal with it. What emotions do you find most challenging to confront and express regarding the loss of your child? If you are an impacted mother, please put your comments into the chat. We're going to go on to question number 2. I'm not here to keep you long, and I am here for another event. So we're going to go on to question number 2. Question number 2 is, are there any unresolved issues or resentments that you need to address and release in order to heal? So that's a good one, right? So, like I said, I asked God how he could allow that to happen to my son, and he told me it happened to his, right? And then it goes further, right? So I don't know if any of you know him, but I seen the chief of police and I forgave him, Daniel Hahn. At the time, I remember it was an MLK 365 day, and I was like, I seen him and I said, you know what? I forgive you. I forgive you for allowing the murderers who killed my son to be back on the streets. Hey, Mama Stephanie.
Hey, I got it. I got it right this time.
Hey, Mama Stephanie Hatton from Stockton representing Antoine Maurice, baby.
Dude, I'm so grateful I got it right. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me finish. So yeah, so how I was able to do that was God took me back to the scripture where it said Jesus, as he was hanging on the cross, prayed to God and said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And so I took that and I internalized that and I ran with it. I said, you know what? I'm going to forgive these police officers, because even if they think they knew what they was doing, they don't know what they did. I can forgive the chief of police for not firing them, because even if he think he know what he was doing, he don't know what he did. You know what I'm saying? So it takes the power away from their intentional actions, right? And it gives it back to God. It's not my power to deal with, and it's not their power to deal with. But that's what I had to, those were unresolved issues for me. And so then when Stevante just ran into the same cop that killed my son, I used to always ask the chief of police, what you gonna do when we run into them? What happens when one of my nephews, when my brother, when one of Stefan's friends runs into one of these officers who killed him? What happens then? And then my son runs into him. And then, not to take, not to, God knows I'm not a racist, but it was the nerve to be the black one. And you mocking my baby. He mocked my baby. Shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Shame on you. So I'm gonna stop. Mama Stephanie, thank you for joining. Tell us who you are. Tell us the name of your son, your child, and tell us something about you we don't know.
Ooh, well, like my I Am Sad family said, I'm Stephanie Haddon. I am the mother of Antoine Barise, and I'm a survivor, but I'm a lady still full of anger and rage, and that's why I'm here. Them police murdered my son, Antoine. Next week it'll be 3 years, and I'm dealing with no respect from them, no answer from them. But what I like people to know about me, I got patience, and because I got that patience, it minimizes my revenge. Because I'll tell anybody I'm half hood and I'm half holy, and I'm
Come
really
on now.
practicing on trying to be 60-40 so that I could stay safe and keep others safe that harm my son. Um, and I'm working on that now, and that's why I'm so grateful I finally got this right. Uh, the love and honor that I've got from the Clark family, from the Oscar Grant family, just pulled me up. And that's only reason why I'm 50-50 now, because I wasn't 50-50 at my age. I was out of control and doing things unbecoming of a mother, if I may. But that's where I am. I'm gonna work these steps, and I'm gonna pray for grace, and I'm gonna pray that the people around me understand that I'm still half crazy, but I'm listening to everybody around me because I don't want to end up in a penitentiary.
Come on
That's
now.
who I am.
Thank you for sharing that. We love you, Mama Stephanie. I
And
was telling some mothers today. I met some mothers. I met out here at this convention, and I was telling them, I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
that's all right.
Anyways, moving forward. So I'm going to ask you the first question. So the step 4 is take a searching and fearless inventory of thoughts and feelings related to the loss. So number 1, Mama Stephanie, what emotions do you find most challenging to confront and express regarding the loss of Antoine?
Is my rage. I have first of all, my sadness. I have not yet worked through the sadness of all this. I've never known sadness like this before. But now this rage inside of me that I know I shouldn't have. And it's a challenge because, you know, when they pull up on me, or when someone says you need to go meet, the chief of police and all that, that's ignited. But these police pulling up on me, pulling
Come
my
on.
granddaughter over, it's the rage and it's the sadness, and that's like fire and water right there. It fire and oil. It's got me so imbalanced,
Mhm.
and I that's the only way I know how to answer that.
Okay. I just regained my thought. I was saying that, I call us yayos, right? When I say a yayo is a mother who's experienced loss of a child. And the reason why it's so important to have a word that defines who we are, it takes away the need to explain why we are, how we are. Okay. So a yayo should be held in high esteem as you would an elder or a widow or an orphan, right? Society should embrace her, look out for her, know that her emotions can go from 0 to 60 at any given moment in at any given direction. I could be super sad, I could be super mad, I could be super glad. But give me that, because I'm still here. And I could have just laid up and died somewhere because my baby gone. Because they don't know how it feels to have your womb tugging at you at 50 years old because your baby is missing. That's a real physical thing that we deal with. I've spoken to several different mothers who have experienced that physical tugging of their womb after the loss of their child. So that was the train of thought. This is like, yeah. So the fact that we're still here is a miracle all by itself. Right?
Yes.
So if I'm mad, if I'm glad, if I'm sad, if I'm raging, give me that. Give me that. We're gonna leave that at that. That's the kids say, period.
Period. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm gonna ask you the second question because I've already answered the first two, and then we'll answer the last one together. The second question is: are there any unresolved issues or resentments that you need to address and release in order to heal?
You know, my resentments are so evil till I can't even speak on them.
Oh, come on.
So I won't
God bless
devalue
your heart.
myself like that, but I try to keep mine 100. And what was the other part of that question?
Any unresolved issues that you need to address and release in order to heal?
Okay, and I'll say this respectfully from my heart, but this is where I stand in my truth. I don't believe I'm ever healed. There is no healing for me. You took something that only I could produce, and I'll never get it back. And so there's not a band-aid, there's not a word, there's not anything yet that has started me on a healing journey.
Okay.
It hasn't. And I say that because I'm still as raw today from when I screamed, they said them police shot 20. I'm still wake up in the morning with the hurt stomach. I cry. I'm still in that same situation. And so I'm trying to find the button that says start healing. And it hasn't came through me protesting. It hasn't came through me voicing myself. It just has not come. It still didn't come when I stopped contemplating suicide. It didn't come. And so that's where I'm at with that. I don't know no other way to express.
I appreciate you.
Unresolved. It's a lot unresolved because you got 3 people that just opened fire in an ambush. You got 3 people who still feeding their kids, and I'm struggling to feed my son's kids. You got 3 people free, living their life, and I got mine is gone. So unresolved, and I hate to say it, you got 3 people living that I don't know. God forgive me. I need your breath. And that's where I am. But I that's that half and half.
I get it.
You ain't right. So yes, and I probably live in unresolvement the rest of my life because I only asked one question through this whole journey, and I'm gonna shut up. Is why did you kill my son? And till this day, and it'll be 3 years next weekend on the 15th, nobody can answer why did you kill him? No answer. So that'll remain unresolved.
You know what we learned today at the Civil Rights Museum was that it's a form of lynching, right? And so this lady was like, "Well, I thought lynching meant, you hang them and you lynch them, right?" And she said, "No, no, 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 no." She said, "Lynching means that they kill your baby to make an example to society, to let them know that if you react this way or do this, this is what happens to you. It's a systemic form of control. That's what happened to our sons.
Mm-hmm.
The police lynched our sons, right?
Yes.
And in order to keep their systemic control over us.
Yeah.
That blew my mind.
Yeah.
I'm drinking. Y'all know I ain't never drank in public on the show. You know, today's been a heavy day for me. You know, I mean, it really, really has. But I thank God that I have that knowledge. And hearing you say that lets me know that I am right in my thinking, because God confirms his word by 2 or 3 witnesses is confirmed, right? You didn't know I learned that today, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here you go speaking on it. That's another witness. So thank you, Father God, for confirmation. And whether you know it or not, healing, you're in the healing process, right? Now, the scab is thick and hard to protect the wound, right? And sometimes we might run into something and knock that scab right off, right? And the wound is fresh again. Your wound will always be there under the scab. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you're sharing your story, the fact that you are speaking your truth, that's healing. You know, the fact that you're smart enough to say, I'm not gonna never get over this. The fact that you're sharing your truth, that's a form of healing. It's just healing for it looks different to everybody. You know, it's your healing is gonna be your healing, my healing gonna be my healing. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't ask for this. Okay. So I don't ever want you to think that you're not moving forward in the way that God has for you to move forward, because a very profound and impactful voice to mothers all around the nation, Mama Stephanie. And Antoine will never be forgotten. His death was not in vain. You know, it's unfair as hell. It's unfair as hell. So I don't want to minimize how you feel, but I just love you. I can't just say, I just love you, and I just wish I could make it better. Now I know how other people feel around me. You know, you know, it's
That's
like,
real.
or how do you know what I mean? We have another person that just joined. I'm gonna leave it at that, Mama Stephanie. I love you.
Right.
Because I'm all nervous and stuff.
Don't be.
I know. So we have another person, Ira X Armstrong. Can you introduce yourself? And if you're a mother or not, I see it says you're the founder of Peace Out Loud. Introduce yourself and the name of your loved one.
How y'all doing? I am a police survivor of a police attack. So that's
okay. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining. So she says she's a survivor of a police attack. You know, man, I was just with Jacob Blake, and you know his son survived, right? But his son's paralyzed, you know, quality of life. But man, I would give anything. I would give anything to have my baby here. You know, to have him survived and paralyzed or in prison. Man, you know, just to have him still here versus gone forever. I'm just saying, I would, you know, I really would. Like,
I think we all would, but being a survivor, could you imagine, and I say this from my heart, the mental, the reliving, the personally feeling the brutality. I just can't imagine. And how one can survive a police brutality, beating, or whatever the case may be, and be able to mentally manage that. I say when they shot Twan in his head,
Woo!
you know, I was like, you know, I'm glad my baby resting in peace, because and in his back and all the places they shot him, he'd have been a nobody. So it's kind of hard to balance. What's worse? You know, we want our babies here, but look at the condition, and now we have a woman who has been brutalized by the police. And she actually is living in it. Well, it's bad both ends.
It is. It's not good either way.
Man,
Either way, it's not. It's like it's a catch-22. That's what they call a catch-22. It's a catch-22, right? But just from my own, you know, that's why it's important. My pastor always told me, you know, it's important that you don't pray for what you want. You pray for God's good and perfect will to be done. Because what could be, if I prayed for him to be alive and his quality of life was that what you just described, then who would be benefiting? You know, who would that be good for? You know, we got one more question to go. How can you create a safe and supportive space for yourself to explore and process your thoughts and feelings? Right here. Healing with Mama Clark.
yeah, definitely.
It's a safe space. Like, you know, we can bounce the ball back and forth. You know, Mama Stephanie, a little bit about our relationship. I remember that was the first year that Antoine, the first year that he had passed. Or was it the second year?
It was the end of the first year.
It was the end of the first year.
The end of the first year.
She I think you made a post or something, and I seen it and I said, I need to call her. I said, I got to call her. Like, I'm not gonna read this or watch this and then leave her to sit in that by herself. I say, hey now. Call her from work. Hey now. I think I FaceTime you too, huh?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You and make sure that because I know how easy it is to go from them feelings to death.
There. That part.
They don't want to talk about that part of it.
They don't.
That's the real part of it. I tried to commit suicide. I talked to Mama Stephanie. I said, just go and have you a drink or have you some coffee. I think I went got a little sip because guess what? It don't matter what time of the day it is, as long as you still here.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? And so that's when our bond really took a different turn. You know what I mean? Because I know that feeling, and I didn't want you to sit in that by yourself or judge yourself or give up. You know, the flip side of being a mother who has survived her child is that it's so easy to say F this world because the pain is the intensity of the pain is indescribable.
There it is.
The intensity of the pain is indescribable. And when I tell you that you every day that you wake up, you'll wake up like, okay, I'm woke, and then it hits you. My baby gone.
Gone.
It's like you forget when you wake up, and then you remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Thank you, Frank, for joining us. We have Frank Sterling saying sorry, but he has to go. Thank you all for sharing. Mama Stephanie, did you want to answer that question? How can you create a safe and supportive space for yourself to explore and process your thoughts and feelings?
I haven't managed that. And I think you know that in your own way. Because I'm always, if I can't get to you, I'll get to your son. And if I can't get to none of y'all, I get to Wanda.
Right.
I'm trying, and I hope the lady that's on here, because she wakes up like we do,
Mhm.
feeling that brutality. You
Bless her
feel me?
heart.
Man, I what I literally do now is when I wake up and bam, it slapped me in my face. I have created a make-believe package that's on my lap in the morning. And this is before I even get it. Once I put my feet down, I take this package
Mhm.
and I set it to the side. Now, I'm never going to lie. Sometimes I can't even lift that package. But when I know I need to, because I know my mind, I take this package and I put it to the side and I say, okay, I'm going to make it through this day. And that's my safety for now. That's all I can do is lift this make-believe package of pain and anger and rage and memoirs and oh my God, the list goes on. And I literally put it to the side because I learned that when I get ready to go to bed,
Mhm.
that package finds its way back in my bed, back under them covers with me. And so that's how I'm learning by myself not to be so dependent on you all.
Mhm.
That's the craziest thing I do. And my daughter says, Mom, what are you doing? And I said, I am making it, Tamaya. This is how I have to do this.
Come on now.
And so she stopped asking me and she even questioned my sanity. And I said, this is a package that my mama didn't teach me. This is a package that only I could feel, Tamaya. So I set it to the side. And then I feel like I'm good. I'm good for the day. I get up, go to this job,
But you know it's
help others.
there. But you
I
know it's
I know.
there.
Yeah,
But
there you go.
I put it right here so I can go do this.
That's all I do, and it's working so
I think
far.
that's what I do too. I
Yeah,
think you,
man.
I think you just made it, you just turned it into words for me. But I get it. I get that.
Yes, yes,
So, because that's what I had to do in order to be here. In order to, I still got 2 kids in the house.
man.
I
Yes.
can't break down. I can't say I quit. Who
No,
gonna
I,
have
I
them?
can't. The as long as the list is in their package,
Man,
I've made sure that the list to be active and to be alive is just as long.
just as
And
long.
there's my balance right there.
I think
And
we
I
just found
checked
our new
them.
co-host, y'all. I think we just found our new co-host.
Shoot.
Come on.
No, I told you when I grow up, I'm gonna be like you. You helped me save my life one morning. I ain't gonna never, ever in life forget that.
I love your whole life. Yeah.
Shoot.
I just I think that we need to all the mothers that I've come across. I think if all of us could come together with one insert and create a manual,
Bring it.
do you know how powerful that would be? Somebody
Yeah.
told me 'cause they just had the men just had this the fathers of the movement just had this retreat, right? Where all these different fathers and different foundations got together and had a healing retreat. And I'm like, well, why don't the mothers do that? And somebody told me because the women don't know how to that's a lie from the pits of hell. Yes, we do.
Yeah, yeah, we
We
do.
know how to come together and we know how to love on one another. And I think that
Yes.
we should all come together and of course do something where we all come together once a year
Yeah.
to go back and forth, to heal, to vent,
Yeah.
to bounce ideas back and forth off of each other. I think that would be
Yes.
so incredibly impactful. But also to create a handbook
Yeah.
on the do's and don'ts.
The do's and don'ts. Because them do's and don'ts can make us or break us.
Man. And but the fact that you've found a way to get up every day and function. Another mother needed to hear that today. You understand me? And I'm telling how many women are going to come back to you and say, Mama Stephanie, when you said that, that changed my life.
Mm,
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And so, yeah, calling all mothers, calling all mothers, calling all mothers, calling all yayo mothers. You know, let's come together and show them that we can unite and come together and make a change.
Yes,
The scripture for step 4 is Psalm 139, 23 through 24. It says, search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me and lead me in the way of everlasting. So I think what that scripture is saying is like what you said. Search yourself and know yourself. In that, when you know yourself and you don't lie to you about yourself,
there it is.
it's everlasting, right? Because what works for you may not work for me, right? But it's, as long as it's working for you, that's the beauty. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty, right? We all have a lot of things that we think that are unresolved. That a lot of thoughts that go through our heads, a lot of issues that we have that are unresolved and may not ever get resolved. But the fact that we know them gives us, it will lead us to a certain peace, right? Okay, I know this ain't gonna never work for me, so I'm not even gonna go there with that. I'm not gonna play with that right there.
Not gonna do it.
So through that, though, because you're not lying to yourself, do you develop peace? And that's the only healing we get is the peace of mind to keep going on, right? That's what healing looks like for us. It doesn't look like
Really. So that peace of mind,
right.
that
Healing
says
doesn't look like
that's healing.
Right. That's what the healing is. It's not, oh, I'm healed from my baby dying. No, that's not what healing is for us. Healing is being able to get up every day and put the package to the side. Okay. And go and carry on with our day. Peace of mind is priceless. And I speak that over your life in Jesus' name. And I speak that over every mother who is watching or who will watch, that peace of mind will come in Jesus' name. So that is step 4, y'all. Working the steps, healing with Mama Clark.
Yes.
Thank you, Mama Stephanie, for joining. And thank everybody who watched and tuned in. I'm gonna get ready to go to my hair and makeup appointment because I'm gonna be at the Fred Cox Life Matters Sneaker Ball tonight, celebrating for his 21st birthday. Fred Cox, say his name. Fred Cox, say his name. Fred Cox, say his name. Fred Cox. You feel me? He should be.
Wow. See, I'm hanging out in the wrong part of the world. Shoot.
Okay. So
this message is for the lady she tuned in of the police brutality. Just know what I've learned from my circle is just look me up, always there. Doesn't necessarily have to be a death, just the brutality of police. We here. And we one phone call away.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
You have a whole family that you can belong to. Come on, without stress. We don't turn nobody away. You feel me?
I haven't witnessed it yet, but you have enough fun for me. All right. Thank you. Sorry I was late. Love you.
No worries. Everybody have a blessed day. Bye-bye.